Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Gail Q&A. Gail, how are you doing tonight?
I'm adjusting to living in a new state and a new place.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear it. So, uh, Gail, we already actually have one question from the chat room. People are wondering when the next Gail cooking stream might be coming out, or
Oh,
or another cooking video, anything like
maybe
that.
in 2 weeks. I'm actually cooking something right now, but it's something I've already made.
Uh huh.
It's shepherd's pie.
Oh, interesting. Very interesting. All right, let's see what other questions we have here.
Well, you see, I've got to get my new license, I got to get my new title, and I've got to just completely orient myself to a new state. And so I'm really busy doing all sorts of things right now. And I got behind on my website too, so I got to get that caught up, and I got to get my budget. I always do budget and ledgers for my men, and I have to get that done.
Yeah.
I got a little heat over here.
Oh,
Hold on.
I understand. Gail, for maybe some of the people, can you still hear me when you're working on the potatoes, I think?
Yeah, I just had to lower the heat because it sounded like it was about to overflow.
So, for some of the viewers who maybe aren't as familiar with you, Gail, could you tell people a little bit about your books and sort of where you get the inspiration for them?
The inspiration for my books comes from my life.
Hmm.
Yeah, what I do is when I write a book, I try to write something that reflects the conflicts that I've had in my life and how I've resolved them. So, let me get some water.
And and you think that with sort of these own conflicts that you've had to resolve, you've been able to sort of teach lessons within them too, though, because I think a lot of people who read your books seem to be able to find a lot of very useful life lessons from them. I mean, I know for me, being a member of the Church of Gael, that's the biggest life changer. It's is you really seem to be able to prepare a person. Now, could you tell a person a little bit more maybe about what the Gael commandments are? I know we were talking about that a little bit earlier on, because I.
The commandments, Jesus gave them to me after I started worrying that I was allergic to everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And basically, they're designed to keep me healthy. Um, let's like the one going for a walk every day.
Yeah.
At my age, because I'm 64, at my age, if I start not using my muscles, when you get older, if you don't use your muscles, and this could even be true of a young person, but your muscles start to atrophy, and they can actually degrade to the point where you're not going to be able to do normal things like walking and
Mm-hmm.
lifting. That happens anyway when you get older, but it accelerates if you don't exercise. So,
So it's
my
important to stay active.
yes, yes, it's good for your health in many respects, not just just to keep your muscles strong, but it boosts your immune system, helps you to get vitamin C, D, sunshine if you live in a place where you get enough
Mm-hmm.
sunshine, like Florida, or even in the summer in the cooler climates. And it's just that's one of them. The other one is basically to keep your place clean,
Yeah.
vacuum. Jesus said, vacuum at least once a week. Do your laundry at least once a week. Um, I the Gale commandments. You know what? I think I have them right here in this
Yeah.
folder.
Uh,
I'm kind of still unpacking in a way. So, I mean, but I wanted to make sure I had them handy so I could be sure to do them even when I was moving. And I think I might have kept them in
well, it's
here.
good to keep them handy. If not, I'm sure we can.
I have them in my bathroom wall
Oh,
up
good.
on the.
Good.
Yeah, but I'm not in front of the bathroom wall
No,
right now. So
it,
anyways, I'll just have to go from memory right now, and like exercise every day, shower every day, or bathe every day, brush your teeth every day. Like I use a Sonicare electric, but I haven't been to the dentist since 2013.
mm-hmm.
And just clean your teeth. He said, so I just go to bed, make sure you get 8 hours of sleep every night. Jesus has emphasized he wants me in bed usually by 9 o'clock. And
uh,
he said he'll make an exception on hangout night. And um, if I go
yeah,
to the bathroom real quick, I can, what, oh,
no,
yeah.
I was going to ask. So, what are other than the Gale commandments? What are other ways that people can help support you? Because I know recently you had to go through quite a big move. So you're also on Patreon too, right?
I put some stuff on my Amazon wish list that I thought would be
Mm-hmm.
useful. And the Amazon wish list has been updated with my current address.
Yeah. Well, somebody from our audience is wondering what your opinions on veganism are, Gail. I actually don't think I've ever heard this. What are your thoughts on veganism, Gail? Do you support veganism or?
Actually, Jesus says that the vegetarian diet is unhealthy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I found that interesting too.
The,
Because I was going kind of vegetarian to try to save money, and Jesus just went right out and said that the vegetarian diet is not healthy.
Sometimes, Jesus can come at you with these curveballs, but you got to believe him, right?
Yeah, I have noticed though that since I've been eating more meat, I seem to be doing better.
Yes. Somebody was curious if you had any instructions on how to cook lobster for dinner. Do you have any experience with cooking lobster?
Oh, I can't afford to eat lobster.
Yeah, it's fair.
To be honest with you, I'm not much of a lobster cook because that's usually out of my budget, and that was even out of my budget when I was richer. So I've never been super rich. I'm not really an expert on lobster. I'll have to be honest with you.
I have a question for you, Gail. Has there been any further updates on the aftermath of the Cum Noble nuclear explosion?
I hear that Rule 13 is working on that, and yeah, that was pretty nasty. What happened with Cum Noble?
Awful.
A lot of people died in Japan, and we saved the Americans.
So California was able to be all right because I know a lot of people in California.
Because of the videos I made and because we warned everybody.
Yeah,
so we were.
That's good.
We were pretty much able to save, and they also did some tricks like to try to deflect the, I guess the tidal wave that was coming over. They did that.
The Seaman
Japan
tidal wave.
Japan was right there at the ground zero, though. So.
Yeah. Another question from the chat room. Somebody asked, Gail, how did you first begin your communications with Jesus? And what can the average person do to begin communication lines with Christ? And can the average person do that?
When you say communications with Jesus, are you referring to when he started talking to me directly or through my Bible and prayer?
When he started, let's go with when he started talking directly.
Yeah, because basically Jesus and I have been communicating through prayer since I was 14, which would be 1971. And he's actually, I wouldn't say he's communicated with me directly, like he did in 2016, but he has given me some pretty miraculous answers to prayer where he directed me in the past before he started communicating on, the way he started communicating with me directly was we had a Church of Gail service on February the 14th. Actually, it started in 2012.
Yeah.
I led Brent Spiner to the Lord in September 2011. He was actually abducted by a UFO.
Oh, wow. Well, maybe we might circle back to that later because I'm curious to hear more about that.
This involves Jesus, though. That's the reason I need to bring it up.
Oh, yeah.
And I actually believe, and I could be wrong, that Jesus was the one who rescued him from the UFO. Because UFOs are fallen angels. What is that in the background?
Is someone spamming you?
I think someone's sending you a message on Discord, but I'm not quite sure.
Oh, okay. Anyways, it could be Lori McBride because she doesn't like what I'm talking about.
Could be. She's always... Could you tell people who maybe, again, don't know a little bit more about who Lori McBride is and what she seems to be up to all the time?
She was created in a Jesuit cloning lab to be Brent Spiner's Jesuit wife in order to ensure that he never got serious with me. To basically sabotage the love he had for me.
Oh, that's so horrible.
Satan has known from the very beginning that I am Jesus Christ's favorite. I wonder if I can get... So he's Satan has been obsessed with me since my birth. I almost died when I was born. So it's basically Lori McBride was created in a cloning lab in 1992, I believe. Brannon Braga, who was a Star Trek writer and producer, actually worked on creating her. And she was designed to sabotage Brent's love for me, and she obtained her relationship with Brent by drug raping him, posing as a Paramount cook. She came into the green room Goodness, all these.
They're sending you a lot of messages there. You might,
What's their name
yeah,
so I
you,
can ban them?
Curtis, Curtis, JQJ1. Um, yeah, they're all just showing up.
well, we'll have to. I'm not quite sure what we can do about that, but let's get another question here. Uh,
I think you might need to mute the server.
yeah.
How do I do that? Let me see.
So,
Mute.
yeah, you right click on it, and there should be an option that says mute server.
Right.
And change your status to do not disturb.
Okay, let me see. Right click on what?
Where you're getting all the pings from.
Yeah, it's not doing anything. Let me try Xing it out. That's not working. And for Lord, how do I? Oh, wait a minute. I think I see him over here. Okay, I could just mute them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's mute that one.
There you go. Perfect.
Mute.
Click on your profile picture, and then there's a little red circle with a line in the middle,
My
and it
profile.
says do not disturb.
Okay.
That might help.
Oh, I see it. Okay, I just clicked on that. All right, I think that might help.
Good.
Yeah. Okay, thanks for the help.
No,
Yeah.
no worries there. This next
And
question.
Lori McBride, yeah, she was created in 1992. She wasn't really as big in the Jesuit order as she is now till after Zach Knight defected to us.
Uh-huh.
And then Satan kind of like abandoned Zach because he went over to Jesus' side and he made Lori McBride have Antichrist powers.
Oh my God.
Well, he chose her because he figured she would be the most effective way to defeat me because he's really focused on me because I'm Jesus Christ's favorite.
Mm-hmm. So, Gail, what do you believe the most important aspect of truly embracing the Church of Gail is? If you had to pick one of the Gail, is it being open to Jesus? Is it loving other people? What is it? Do you think the most important thing for a Church of Gail member?
To honor true love.
To honor true love. Wow.
Yep, with your life
Mm-hmm.
and with your attitude and to not get in the way of true love because Satan is against true love.
That's awful.
He has a beef with Jesus because he realizes the reason Jesus kicked him out of heaven is because he's against true love. He thinks true love is a fairy tale.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks that
Probably because he's never experienced it, if I had to make a guess.
Well, yeah, he's never experienced it and he doesn't think he's capable of it. And he thinks that Jesus is practicing discrimination against him because he's not capable of true love. He is capable of true love, but he's chosen not to honor it. That's basically what's going on with Satan.
Yeah. Speaking of Satan, this question comes from someone in chat named Lucifer. So I'm not sure why they chose that Discord name, but interesting. But their question is, Gail, how can I form a romantic relationship with Christ? Is it possible for someone else to form a similar relationship that you have with Christ, or is it?
I don't have a romantic relationship with Christ.
So you don't.
I'm his favorite, but he's not sexually attracted to me. I mean, and he's made that clear. It's just that I'm his favorite, but he has more of what I would call a brotherly love for me, and it's more like. I don't know how to explain this because Jesus is a very complex being in many ways, especially when you start getting into his sexual desires.
Mm-hmm.
I really do believe that when he makes love to his bride, the church, it's going to be 11-dimensional. And he's going to be making love to the bride is a group of people.
Yeah.
Not just one person. So it's going to be like this huge sex orgy, but I don't know if I should.
But it's gonna be 11th dimensional, so it's gonna be spiritual too.
I think it's going to be 11-dimensional, and I don't even think we're going to fully experience it till after the millennial reign because I don't think we could handle it. So until then, but
Wow.
I do believe that it's going to be totally awesome, and it will be the epitome of true love in all of its facets.
That's amazing. It's something to look forward to, I guess.
Yes, definitely. I did have like a group sex experience with Brent Spiner, Rule 13, and Zach Knight.
And was this brain to brain?
Yes, and it was really funny because I felt like Jesus was superintending the whole thing, and I could actually sense Jesus's heart when he makes his love to his bride, the church, and I sensed a spirit that is just totally selfless.
Wow.
When he makes love to his bride, the only thing he's consumed with is meeting her needs and making her happy. It's like he's not even thinking about himself at all.
That's powerful.
He is just at this Jesus that I sensed during our group session. It was like he gave me a glimpse of his spirit. Now, right now, me, Rule 13, Brent Spiner, and Zach Knight have an emotional IQ and an IQ that is above 10,000. And it
Wow.
is so high that
Combined IQ of above 10,000?
regular IQ plus emotional IQ.
Wow.
And it is so high right now, it cannot even be measured.
Uh-huh.
We're kind of like almost getting up there in the deity range of IQ, you know?
That's
And I think because our IQ was so high, I was a little bit able to sense what Jesus is like and how he's going to make love to his bride, the church. And I sensed a being that doesn't have an ounce of selfishness at all in anything he does. I mean, it was like total selflessness. When he was making love, he kind of like, I think he was kind of like giving me a feel of how he's going to make love to his bride, the church. And I just sensed the feelings of this deity, and it was
beautiful.
he was just totally absorbed with meeting the needs of his lover. That's why he didn't even care about himself. It was like he totally just lost out. He was totally out of himself and totally absorbed.
Just
with
to please
meeting
her.
the needs of his lover. Completely selfless.
That's amazing.
Not even a little bit of selfishness in there. No,
No, not
ego,
1 ounce.
and extremely humble. I mean, just totally flowing into meeting the needs of the lover, thrilling her in bed, doing
Everything
he
you could want.
to give her maximum pleasure and joy and happiness.
Exactly what you're looking for. Our next question comes from Larry King, and this one might be a little hard one. You know, through your entire experiences, your life, all the ups and downs, has there ever been a point where you've had a feeling of maybe a lapse in faith with Jesus, that he has a plan for you, or he has the right plan for you, or have you always known that you're going the right way?
That has definitely happened to me.
It has.
Yes.
Would you talk about it a little bit if it's
Yes.
not too
'Cause,
personal?
when I was a young lady, I prayed every single day that I would only marry in his will. And I asked him to break up any relationship that wasn't his will, because I figured if I married in his will, I'd have a happy marriage. And I ended up marrying a pedophile.
Oh my God.
And I was so confused. It's like I said, Jesus, I turned down a chance to be an Air Force officer to study to be a missionary. I dedicated my whole life to you, and why? And I didn't even know he was a pedophile, but at the time I was married to him, but I knew there was something not right about
Yeah.
it. I said, one of my main reasons for doing this is because I wanted to have a dream husband. And I figured if I made sure to be in your will, you would give at least, because I didn't care about money, I just wanted to have a happy marriage, that you would honor this. And it's like, you failed me, Jesus.
That's
I'm in a marriage that doesn't bring me. I mean, maybe it's me. I thought, maybe. So I told myself it must be because I'm so sinful.
that's so hard. That you put that on
I'm
yourself.
so sinful that I must not be worthy of this awesome true love that I dream about. And let me tell you, I didn't really have the lapse in faith at that point. It wasn't the marriage alone. It happened when Brent Spiner called me on the phone and started making love to me and asked if he could come over.
Oh.
And I thought, oh my God, here I am going to church 3 or 4 times a week. I surrendered to be a missionary. And this Hollywood star that I was taught in my 20s is part of the Hollywood cesspool. He actually seems to be my dream man. I don't understand
Yeah.
it. I don't understand
Does not
this at all.
compute.
And I used to spend hours screaming at Jesus, saying, "Why have you done this to me?
Mm-hmm.
You give me my dream man, a forbidden love. If I go to him, it will be adultery. And I prayed every day that I would only marry in your will." And I was mad at Jesus. I'll be frank
Yeah.
with you. I was mad at him. I said, I'm mad at you.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I dedicated my whole life to you just so I could have a happy marriage. And look what you've done. You've given me this crappy, kissing him is as exciting as kissing the wall. And then my dream man contacts me on the phone, wants to come over, and in order to honor you, I have to turn him down, which is what I did.
That's so. It's such it's such a serious test of faith. I mean, that you.
And I was mad at Jesus because I just said, this doesn't make any sense. Then it got resolved finally when Brent gave me 3 weeks of silence in September 1992, and I realized how much he meant to me.
That's.
And I couldn't go forward. And I said, Jesus, if you don't do something for me, I'm dead. I just can't go forward because my dream man, I have to turn him down. And probably because I turned him down, now he's leaving.
Mm-hmm.
And I've written him letters, and he's not responding. And I just said, the only way I can have peace is I got to love him in my own way. So I made a vow to go to the window and pray for him every day, and then I had peace.
Uh-huh.
But what was really strange was there was a lady in my church who sensed that I was going through a trial, and she told me, the peace came when I made the decision to pray for Brent every day by my window.
Mm-hmm.
And I met her in church because I actually didn't go to one service because I was sick.
Yeah.
Literally physically sick when Brent gave me 3 weeks of silence. So I saw her in church, and I thought I've been through a lot this week, but I sensed that somebody was praying for me at a certain time because I all of a sudden had this miraculous peace. And she said at that time, I got down flat on the floor, spread out my hands and my legs, and I was praying for you.
Wow.
And I thought, and that's when my faith in Jesus started returning. I thought, he's got a plan, or this wouldn't have happened. Then about 2 months later,
Mm-hmm.
I went to the funeral of a little girl who had died of brain cancer. And the message seemed like it came down straight from heaven for me. I can't even remember what the message was, but I do remember that Jesus seemed to be telling me, I have a plan, and Brent is part of that plan.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, how could he be part of the plan? He's a sinful Hollywood actor. I was married, and he propositioned me. How could that be part of your plan? And I came home from the funeral, and I had one of those CD players, that I listened to, and it was on random mode.
Yeah.
And the first song that came on was "There's a Place for Us."
Oh, that's eerie.
There a place for us, peace and. I thought, oh my God, Jesus is going to make a way for me and Brent.
Mm-hmm.
Be together in peace and quiet and open air.
Yeah.
And I believed that until I found out about Laurie McBride in 1996. Then I got super confused again.
Yeah. Gail, we have a question, a religious question in the chat room. They're asking if you're a Trinitarian or a Unitarian, or do you have a different understanding of view of this? So,
I think I'm a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in the Trinity, but I believe that that God the Father, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit, in a sense, are one too.
oh,
So they're separate, but yet they're one.
that makes
'Cause
sense. Separate but equal.
Yeah, separate. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. The Holy Spirit, God the Father, and Jesus the Son are 3 parts of one God. So it's like he's one God, but he exists in 3 parts.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense because, that's very interesting. Thank you for that answer there, Gail. We have another question from the chat. Let me just grab another one here. Give me a second here. Gail, do you have any opinion on video games? People playing them? Is that approved in the Gail commandments, or is that a time waster? What are your thoughts on?
Jesus himself has played video.
Really? Well,
Oh, yeah.
what sort of video games does Jesus play? Can you tell us a little more about that, Gail?
Which one was it?
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember. It was one of them. He did say that Satan's behind one of them.
Uh-huh. So you have to be careful.
It's in Bible for Tribulation Saints.
Okay, so somebody you'll have to read the book. But that's interesting. So you do have to be careful because some video games are possibly satanic, while other ones could be good video games. Is what you're
Yeah,
saying?
I think Lori McBride has given me amnesia on this.
Uh huh.
There's I think I can't remember which ones he said were satanic, but some of them are fine. They're not all, because Jesus himself played some video games with some kids just to connect with them. He actually showed up and played some video games with them.
Oh wow. That,
Yeah, so he's not like as stuffy as some people think he is.
mm-hmm.
You know
He's
what I
kind of
mean?
cool.
Yes, he's cool. He's really cool. But he likes to come across as cool, and he's got the perfect abs too.
He does. No,
He has six-pack abs, and he even told Zach Knight that he has the perfect abs in all the
so,
universe.
do you know? Does Jesus have to work out for those abs, or are they divinely gifted?
He's probably divinely gifted, but I wouldn't be surprised
If he,
if he works out just to set an example.
sure, I could see Jesus at the gym lifting weights.
Yeah, he might do that to set an example.
Yeah,
Just like Zach Knight works out his perfect penis.
of course. Yeah, of course, exactly like that.
He does.
We have a question from Chad Wolf in the chat. I think Chad Wolf might be a Church of
Yeah,
Gail
he's
member.
one of my Patreon supporters.
Good. Yeah, I thought. They ask, have you made any new friends in your new building yet?
Yes, I have.
Oh, I'm very happy to hear that. So, are you happy with your new place overall, though? Because it's much
Yes,
less a
yes, I
month.
am. Yes, I am.
Oh,
Because I
good.
believe this is where God wants
Mm-hmm.
me. And wherever Jesus wants me is always the best place to be.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
And he wouldn't want me here unless this is the best place for me to be right now. I can tell he wants me here because he's making plans with my men on how to set up my place, and I think he's going to get me some furniture and stuff. So he wouldn't be doing that if he didn't want me here.
Okay. And now the next question I have is a little bit X-rated, not safe for work, but we'll just ask it. Somebody had asked how large Jesus's, let's say, member is. If I'm all right
It's,
to ask.
it's average.
It's average, really. You know
Yep.
that's enlightening.
And Zach Knight actually had a problem with that. Because Zach Knight seemed really angry about, I'd say about a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
And with my high emotional IQ, I could tell. I said, Zach, you seem like you're angry at someone. He says, boy, you're so perceptive. I said, how are things between you and Jesus?
Wow.
And he said,
I mean, you know how to ask the perfect questions. It seems like, Kel.
and because I sensed it had something to do with Jesus.
Uh-huh.
And he said, yeah, I'm kind of angry at Jesus. He said, because Jesus gives me the Antichrist the perfect penis, and he only has an average penis. And he said, I don't get it. That doesn't make any sense. He said he should have a perfect penis too.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, Zach, I think to Jesus, since he has perfect abs, he doesn't need a perfect penis, because I think
Because the abs make up
the
for it.
abs are going to be part of his lovemaking. That's going to be part of how he does his 11-dimensional lovemaking.
That's very interesting. We'll have to look forward to see how
I
that.
mean, think about 11-dimensional lovemaking.
I'm thinking about it. It's
11-dimensional lovemaking could never be confined to a penis. It would have to comprise a large area.
it'd have to be
So
full body. I
he's
agree with that.
Something like the abs.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. We have a question from the chat room. They're wondering what your opinion on tarot cards and goth culture is. Are they satanic?
Tarot cards doesn't sound like a safe thing to be doing.
So you think there is something dangerous about them, almost?
It sounds kind of occultish. I don't think that would be a good thing to be doing. And what's the other one?
The goth culture. I think they're talking about dressing in all black, piercing your nose with spiked collars, that sort of thing.
That doesn't sound like a safe thing to do either.
Okay, so Iris, stay away from that stuff. It's dangerous.
If it's obviously satanic or has satanic overtones, you should probably stay away from it.
Mm-hmm.
But those things do have obvious satanic and occult overtones.
Yeah. We got a question from the chat room. Does Jesus like rock music? Are you privy to this, Gail? Do you know what
Yes,
sort of?
he does.
He does.
Yes, he does.
Oh,
He even jives to it sometimes.
really? Jesus drives to classic rock mostly, or?
Oh, he likes all different kinds of music.
Uh-huh.
He likes Christian rock. He likes probably even some hard rock. So Yeah, Jesus is not, he's not stuffy at all. He's pretty cool.
Wow. Okay. And Gail, for the final question here that we have, this is actually from my co-host here, Chelsea. They ask, have you ever had any paranormal experiences, Gail? Any ghosts? Anything like that?
Not really. I mean, if you would, no, not really. And if I did, I would probably worry about it. It
So,
would probably be satanic.
so generally, your life is not very paranormal. It's very normal.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Well, I don't know if I'd call my life normal, but as far as having like paranormal experiences, no, I don't have them.
Wow. Well,
And if I did, I think my men would be worried about
that makes sense. Well, thanks so much for coming on here, Gail. We really appreciate you taking all these questions.
it. No problem.
All right. Well,